7:53, a local startup has an app to help farmers grow smarter. Michael Rogers is co-founder of Smart Yields. And before we get into what you do, we probably ought to mention that you hit a milestone this week. You're part of Energy Accelerator now.
That's right. We're happy and proud to be able to say that we're part of this great cohort for Energy Accelerator. It's a local accelerator for startups that focuses on energy, water, and agriculture.
Do they write checks or do they do other stuff?
That's part of what they do. Is they provide a lot of mentorships and also funding, and they introduce us to possible partners, local and globally.
Yeah, and those are two really important. I mean, people think, well, the money sounds like the most important thing, but meeting investors could actually lead to more money. And one of the ways you get investors is by operating well, and that's another thing they help you with.
Right. Startups have a lot of issues with growing, and it's not necessarily the same as a company that's been around for a long time. So we have a lot of growing pains, and accelerators like Energy Accelerator really help us get through those issues.
So how does this app help a farmer who maybe already thinks he knows something about growing smart?
Right. So what we try to do with the app is we use modern technology, smart technology, to improve agriculture's efficiency. So we use data science, and we use sensors that collect data from agricultural fields, and we analyze that data so that we can give efficiencies to the farmers that they couldn't see with their own eyes.
What kind of sensors?
Well, we have sensors that measure, first of all, temperature and humidity, weather stations, soil moisture, but also importantly, we also have ways to track for people to input their own data into the application so that you can have communication amongst the team of where the pests are found or what kind of fertilizer were used in what locations.
Oh, okay. So some of the data is actually entered by the farmer and the people working with the farmer. Yeah. But does all this information like go back to a central point, so without necessarily being in that corner of the field, they know that it's moisture?
Right. The great thing about it is everybody has a smartphone these days, so everybody with a smartphone on your agricultural field, on your farm, has instant access to all the information that's available.
That is fascinating, particularly since so many crops in Hawaii rely on fertigation, and how much of that you do depends on how much water is actually coming from out of the sky, for example.
Right, exactly. And Hawaii, as an agricultural system, we depend on a lot of foreign imports for feeding our populations. And for us to be able to compete with global networks of food production, we have to improve the precision or efficiencies of our agriculture. We have to be able to reduce the costs of labor and land and the inputs that go into agriculture. And the only way to do that, from my opinion, is through technology.
Yeah, some of the most successful farmers we have, I'm thinking of Nalo Greens, for example, have figured out how to efficiently grow on not very much land, since the cost of land is a big deal here.
Right, exactly.
So have you got any actual farmers in the field who are like beta testing what you've got so far?
Yeah, we actually have farmers locally and on the West Coast. Locally, we have producers that are growing aquaponics and coffee.
Okay. Where can somebody go and get more information on this?
We have a website, smartyields.com, where you can see exactly what we do. And we also have an app that's coming out that everybody can download to help them with their gardening and their farms in a couple of weeks.
All right. This is fascinating because every farm story, you turn it inside out, it's a food story, and I'm guessing you eat. It's 7:56, and we'll have more sunrise for you in a moment.